respected lecturer and friends. We are Group 2 consisting of me, Indhira Qirani, Syam, and my partner Nurul, Jannah, and Aprilyanthi. Today we will formally present our mini research, a title analysis of English, a pronunciation a problem among Indonesian students. We will start our finding, explain the reason behind this difficult, and connect them to basic concepts in phonetic and phonology. Background and significance. English is a mandatory subject from elementary to university level here in Indonesia, and it's widely used in tourist, business, and education, especially in Bali and Makassar, where English is frequently acquired. However, even after years of learning, many students still struggle with pronunciation. Studies show that unclear pronunciation often leads us to misunderstanding, lower self-confidence, and creates a barrier in both academic and daily communication. That is why this topic is important in defining exactly which sounds are difficult and understanding why they happen will help both teacher and learners across a better strategies to improve a speaking skill. Research question. In this study, we focus on three clear research questions. The first is what are the most common and repeated pronunciation error made by Indonesian university student. The second, which a specific English vowel and consonant phonemics are most often related as skipped and mispronounced. The third, how the difference between Bahasa Indonesia and English sound system explain this difficult based on integral transfer theory. Theory explanation. To answer this question, we ask two main branches of language: phonetic, which a student how a speak a sound are produced, transmitted, and perceived, and phonology, which a student how a sound are organized, combined, and used to create a meaning in creating a language. Let me explain the key terms. First, phoneme. This is the smallest unit of a sound that can change the meaning of a word. For example, in English, P and B are different phonemes. But mean something different from but in some language these two sound might be considered the same. Second, a phonemic inventory. This is the complete collection of sound a language uses. Bahasa Indonesia has around 22 consonants and only 6 simple vowels. English, on the other, has about 24 consonants and 20 vowels, including long, short, and golden sound called deep voice. That means many English sounds do not exist in Indonesia at all. The third integral transfer, also known as L1 interference, that happens when a learner and sequentially brain the rules, habits, and sound patterns of their first language, Bahasa Indonesia, into English. When a sound does not exist in L1, the brain automatically replaces it with the closest familiar sound. This is not a sign of laziness, it is a natural process. For a minimal pairs, there are pairs of words that are exactly the same except for one single phoneme. They are very useful because they clearly show whether a sound difference is important or not. Mispronunciation of one sound in a minimal pair can completely change what you mean. And finally, a stable structure. Indonesian stable are very simple. Most are a CV or CVC, meaning they end with a vowel or just a consonant. English is different. It allows many consonant group together at the benching or end of words. Sounds are in this text or strategies. From this concept, we understand that the pronunciation mistakes are not random. The follow-up picks the better based on how the learner's native language works.
Next, method data analysis part 1 and 2, method and data collection. Let me explain how we collected our data. We worked with 5 university students from different study programs in Denpasar and Makassar, all native speakers of Bahasa Indonesia, again between 18 and 21 years old. Each participant completed 2 tasks. First, reading aloud a short English text of about 100 words. Second, speaking freely for 3 minutes about their daily activities, hobbies, or campus life. We recorded all sessions with their permission, kept their identities anonymous, and then carefully transcribed and compared their pronunciation with the standard British English, received pronunciation as our reference. We grouped all similar errors to find the most frequent patterns. Data 1. Vowel length contrast. The first and most common difficulty is the difference between short and long vowels. Look at these pairs. Sheep, sheep, shape, sheep, sit, 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 life, live, live, live. In our recordings, all students pronounced both words with only the short vowel. Sheep, sit, life. There was no length difference at all. Why does this happen? In Bahasa Indonesia, vowel length never challenges the meaning of a word. Whether you say a vowel short or slightly longer, it is still the same word. But in English, length is a phonemic feature. It challenges meaning completely. Because their L1 system does not need to notice this difference, students automatically ignore it, leading to confusion. For example, saying sheep instead of sheep can make listeners misunderstand what you mean. Data 2. Dental fricativism. The second big problem is the sound theta and data. Let's look at this example. Think, tree, thumb. Student said think, tree, thumb. This, that, brother. Student said this, that, brother. These two sounds are called dental fricative. You put the tip of your tongue lightly between your upper and lower teeth and let it flow out smoothly. The problem is this sound do not exist in Bahasa Indonesia at all. The closest sounds students already know are T and D, which are made by touching the tongue to the gum bridge and stopping the air. So naturally, they replace the unfamiliar sound with the nearest one they have practiced since childhood. This substitution makes speech sound vague and sometimes causes mix-ups, like teen sounding like teen.
Next, data analysis part 3 and 4, summary, conclusion, and reference. Data 3, final consonant cluster simplification. The third pattern is simplifying groups of the consonant at the end of words. English words often have 2 or 3 consonants together, like desk, test, next, and text, lamp, ask. In our data, students pronounce them as, des, test, next, test, lamb, us, always removing the last of weakest consonant. This comes from syllable structure difference. Indonesian almost never allows more than one consonant at the end of syllable. To make English words fit their speech habit, learners shorten the cluster. This makes the speech harder to understand, especially for people not used to Indonesian accent. Data 4. Va versus ba confusion. We also found another frequent error mixing up va and ba. Vain versus vain. Very versus berry. Students always use ba instead of va. Again, va is a labial fricative. You touch your upper teeth to your lower lip and let air flow, while ba is a bilabial stop with both lips closed. Since Indonesian only has ba, learners cannot easily produce or even hear the difference at first. Summary of findings. To sum up our results, the main pronunciation difficulties among Indonesian university students are: first, not distinguishing short versus long vowels. Second, replacing the and ta with ta and da. Third, shortening final consonant groups, and fourth, confusing va and ba. All this makes happen systematically, not randomly. They are directly caused by the phonological difference between Bahasa Indonesia and English. Conclusion and implication. From this study, we conclude that pronunciation problems are mostly rooted in L1 interference, not lack of effort. The sound system of our mother tongue shapes how we hear and speak new language. For teaching and learning, this means teachers should explicitly explain this difference. Practice minimal pairs, focus on sounds that do not exist in Indonesian, and train students to hear and produce longer syllable structure. Learners need to be aware that these are normal challenges, and regular listening and speaking practice targeting these specific patterns will bring clear improvement. And reference. That is all our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention and patience. We are happy to answer any questions. The following are some of the key reference we use, including Brown 2014 6th edition, Lado 1957, a journal article by Swandi 2018, and a book by Yule 2020.